I'm going to show you my go-to oven roasted chicken plus roasted sweet potatoes. This is going to be good, and it's what I'm making for dinner. Here we go. To start, I'm working with close to 4¼ pounds whole chicken. Here I also have some cooking twine to truss the chicken, and now I'm going to prep and season it. So first, if you're making this, you'll want to season the inside of the cavity. Use whatever seasonings and rubs that you prefer. I'll show you what I typically use, and you just kind of add your salt. I'm going with salt. I'll also be adding some garlic powder, onion powder, salt-free lemon pepper, and here I have some Montreal chicken seasoning. Again, seasonings are up to you. Another trick, or another thing you should do, is completely thaw and set it on your countertop for about 35 minutes or so to remove the chill. This will ensure that the chicken cooks evenly and it's not going in cold. So I'm just going to take my cooking twine and basically truss the legs closed as best as I can. I'm kind of having a hard time here. So I'm just going to cut off any excess cooking twine, and that is done. I also tuck the wings under the chicken. You kind of lock it in place. And now I'm going to prep the exterior. So what I'm going to do, you could use melted butter or softened butter. I'm going with some cooking oil. This is avocado oil. I'm going to spread this all over the exterior of the chicken, and then I'm going to go over with these same dry seasonings. And like I said, season how you prefer. I'll go down the list. Here's garlic powder. I'm going to add some granulated onion powder, salt-free lemon pepper, some salt, and that Montreal chicken seasoning. Sometimes I like to throw in smoked paprika. Today I just skipped it. I'm really just trying to get this chicken in the oven. And I'm also going to repeat this process for the underneath the chicken or the back side of the chicken. And I'm just eyeballing everything. So if you are looking for measurements, really what I'm trying to show you is how easily you can roast a whole chicken. So this video was requested by one of my younger family members who now live on their own, and they are beginner cooks, and they requested roasted chicken. So this is for you, cuz, and it's really not that hard if you thaw the chicken. Always remember to thaw the chicken. Sometimes that is the hardest part, to remember that. Okay, so once this is completely seasoned, I'm going to bake this in a cast iron skillet. If you do not own a cast iron skillet, a baking dish or a baking pan, that works. Okay, so I have everything prepped. I'm going to go over again with the seasonings where I touched. I like seasoning, but really it's up to you. And if you don't have any of these seasonings, salt and pepper works. Sometimes simple works. So this is going in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm cooking this for around 15 to 17 minutes per pound. I also prepped my sweet potatoes, and to do that, I scrubbed and rinsed them well. And I'm just going to score them. I'm kind of coming off of that jacket potato kick where I score it like this cross on the potatoes. If you want to check out that recipe video for jacket potatoes, it's basically a baked potato. I will link it somewhere throughout this video or below. So once I do this to all of my sweet potatoes, by the way, you don't have to do this. You can just take a fork and prick it on the exterior. No biggie. I do that all the time. And these potatoes are fairly small and thin, so they're not going to take that long to cook. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of cooking oil. I'm going to rub that all over the exterior, and then I'm going to sprinkle it with salt. And this is going into the same preheated oven along with the chicken. And for these potatoes, because they're small, it's probably going to take like 45 minutes. If they were larger, I'd say a full hour. And this is what the oven is looking like here. Everything fit on this rack. I have it in the lower third of my oven, and these potatoes are done. And my kitchen smells wonderful. My family loves roasted chicken. Okay, so now the chicken is done. I cook this for a little over an hour. Like I said, for chicken being cooked or baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes. I say 15 to 17 minutes. You always want to check the internal temperature, the thick part of the thigh and breast. It has to reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit to make sure that it's cooked through. And don't freak out if you see a little bit of pink color. That doesn't mean it's raw, but You want to check the internal temperature. That's the safest way to check. And cooking at 350 degrees Fahrenheit also keeps the breast tender and moist. So I let this rest for about 25 minutes. I like to let it rest before cutting into it. I am not going to break this down with a chef knife. I literally am going to use my kitchen shears because these are sharp and the chicken has cooked so perfect. It's so tender, you literally can just pull the pieces off of the chicken. But I'm going to remove this cooking twine. Don't forget to do that. And then with my kitchen shears, I'm just going to snip around the chicken thigh. And once you get to the bone, if you kind of wiggle it, it just comes out of the bone. It's really not hard if you cook this. And here we go. I just pulled it and it came off. And this is tender roasted chicken. This is my go-to recipe. Season how you like. Store-bought rubs work. But the cook time at 350 degrees Fahrenheit is 15 to 17 minutes per pound. Here's my sweet potato. A little bit of butter and ground cinnamon goes a long way. And I'm just serving it with a simple side salad. And you have a delicious dinner, perfect for the weeknight or the weekend or date night. I don't know. So good. And I want to show you how tender the chicken breast. It's so moist and tender. It really is my go-to recipe. It's so easy to make. No fuss. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it. And thanks for watching.